everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Zee Garcia.
And I'm Camilla.
And today we're taking a look at a game called Sparks. Sparks Must Fly. This is from 4 different designers. Adrian Damasco, Pierluca Florin, Kajetel Svensson, and Christian Ostby. Now, the fact that Christian Ostby's involved made me think it was like an Aporta game, and it feels like one on almost every way. I still don't know the difference between this company and Aporta.
There's a few companies like, what's the other one? Foxtail?
Funny Fox or Foxtail?
Yeah, I forget which one.
What does the Fox say?
Yeah.
That one's also from some of the same people. So, yes, you're right that there's a little confusion there for me as well as far as the reason for the company being different. I'm not sure, but it comes with some of that DNA from those people, that design group.
Which is usually a mid-weight Euro-style game. Pretty easy to play.
Yeah.
You play the game, you do some actions. And so I was kind of interested in this one. It's a robot game. And we're now going to see how it plays.
Here we see the area set up for all the players. This is the common area, and then every player is going to have one of these in front of them. I'm just showing you one, but this would be in the player color with the 4 tokens across the top. They draft and begin with 3 robots, and you have a hand of assistance from the deck as well. This is the star player token, and then we've got everything else over here set up, all right? So the idea of the game here is to draft dice, use those dice to build robots, improve your factory, and get victory points. As you complete various actions, generally completing robots, you're going to be moving your colored little meeples up on these tracks, and they'll be giving you bonuses as well as being worth numbers of victory points across the top. You're also leveling this up and getting victory points for your assistants that you have played, all right? So that's the general idea. So to play a round of this, we are going to have a start player. We are going to draw and randomize a number of dice equal to these spaces here. You can do this however you want to, but you can just kind of pull them out of the bag without looking and place them out there. Or you could roll them, whatever you want to. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. That's a lot of green for some reason. But hey, it's random. Having done that, whoever is the start player is going to select one of these tiles up here, and they are going to place it there, and that denotes how many dice they are drafting this round, and then if there's a special ability that comes along with that. So, for example, for me, I might do this one, and I put it there, and it says I get 3 dice. And they can start from this end, or they can start from this end. It also says I get 2 more from the bag. Okay, cool. So I'm going to take these 3 dice here. I'll just put them in my area for right now. And then I'm also going to draft, or just grab, I should say, 2 from the bag. Roll them. More green. Now, every other player around the table gets 1 of these. And again, from either side. So player number 2 might take this one. Player number 3 gets that. And player number 4 maybe gets that one. There we go. The last one's just going to go away at the end of the round, so I'll get rid of it now. And now, all the players have some dice. They're going to do something with those dice, okay? So you can put them here on these robots. So, for example, I could put that there, and I can put this here. And then that requires green, that requires yellow. This one requires a 3. I don't have a 3 right now, so that's going to just sort of hang out until I complete it, okay? If I had a 3, let's say one of these 6s was a 3, then I can put it on here, I complete that robot, I get this bonus, which is moving myself up on the green track, and so I get my little fella, and he goes right there on step 1 of the green track. These go away, and now I have this robot completed. I will be drafting, once we're all done, a new robot for this spot right here. But, you know, if I hadn't, it would just hang out. That is true for all of these. Sometimes they'll move you 1 or multiple arrows up on the track. The other thing you can do is you can put dice right here in these spots, and then you can cash them in to move up on this track right here. That is going to give you a bonus. It is also going to become a multiplier for your assistants, okay? Speaking of these assistants, these are going to give you abilities, sometimes a one-time ability, sometimes recurring or end-game abilities. Every time you want to play one of these, you have to pay gears for these. So gears For the very first one, you have to pay 1 gear. For the second, you pay 2 gears, and so on. You're also allowed to spend your dice to gain gears. Just like you can spend gears to modify your dice up and down 1, you can spend 2 gears to ignore the color of something, and then over here lets you know that you can spend gears times the number of assistants to play one. It's just a reminder. So the other 3 are sort of modifiers. You also have this energy right here, and this energy is going to allow you to make some special abilities happen. So for example, I could put this right here and get 1 gear right there. And that stays there until I am the start player again, meaning 1 full time around the table, okay? So let's say I do that and I play this little guy right here. I got a gear, I spent that gear, boom, I'm done. These things happened, I kept a 6, and I do that, this moves up, I get this right here, which is a tool. Tools are over here, they give me special things. I can plug them in to get special abilities. When I complete this robot, I'm going to get an extra gear. There's also some different ones here that go on your player board, like for example there, that allow you to take unique and distinct abilities. So that's what all this is, and you get them from these tool areas, okay? As you pass these locations, you go, say from where I am now, I leapfrog over that one and go to there, I'm going to get one of those. Some of the other ones, like this one, lets me advance on any track, and so on. There's a few other things. Get extra dice, what have you. So once we've all finished, you can keep up to 1 die, so I would probably give up some things and get more gears. And this would be used up, so that's also gone. Once everybody is done, we are going to go to the next player. The next player clears any leftover dice that were here. They grab some dice and put them out, and they'll be the first player, so they might do, I don't know, something like that and take some dice and what have you. I'll be last. I'll take 1 of the dice that's left there. I'll do something with that. We keep going around. When it finally comes back around to me, being the start player, then everyone releases all of this locked energy that they have, and they can utilize it again. You'll notice you begin with that spot. There's also some at the bottom of these robots that you can use. As long as it's completed, you can use the energy, boom, and you do the thing. Not every robot has that. Some of them have a one-time ability. Like this one over here just gets you a gear and you complete it. But it does move you up 2 times on the blue track. So that's the difference. Besides the tile I showed you that I used to draft dice, which was this one here, there's also that one that gets you a gear, and you only take 2 dice, but it gets you a gear. This one is you take 3 dice, but you can take them from inside the line. It doesn't have to be from one end or the other. And this one gets you 4 dice, but you, at any point on your round, on your turn, you can re-roll something, anything you want to. So there's also that one. Now, endgame scoring here, 4 times around the table, so these are going to be basically used up. Once we've used them all up, then the game is over, and you're going to score. Depending on how far you made it, there's victory points across the top. Say if you make it to this column, for example, there's a 17 right there. And then over here, you have a multiplier for your little assistant. So if I made it all the way to there, it says ×3. So I'd be scoring these people ×3. They also sometimes have points. Like this one's actually -1. That one gives you a point. That one doesn't have any points whatsoever. But the multiplier is just for the amount of people. You're also going to get points if you have 1 of each color of robot there. You get some points for leftover gears, things like that. And once you figure out your final score, then whoever has the most points, of course, is the winner of the game.
You know, the first game that this reminded me from is that robot game. I forget the name of it, where you go around a circle.
Transmissions.
Transmissions.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's because of the weight. Well, obviously the theme. They're both robot games, but also just kind of the weight and the way they feel.
Yes.
You
They
know,
both also, if you did this robot, you got an upgrade.
Right, and you're upgrading the robot, that kind of stuff. So mechanisms-wise, I think they're very, very different.
Sure,
but I do
yeah.
agree that they feel the same as you're playing them.
To me, it reminded me of Revive a little bit, which is from it's some of the same designers. And there's some similar ideas, but this is much lighter. This feels like Revive Express or something.
Okay.
You know, that sort of leveling up specific things you do. Like, yeah, the first time you complete a robot, you get whatever. But if you upgrade it and put the little thing above it, next time you finish a robot, you get that and a gear or whatever.
Yeah.
And so there's all these things that get progressively better as you are playing the game.
Well, to that end, it needs to be said then that this is a lighter game.
Yeah.
And a fairly light game, I think. And I like the game, I'll say that. But the rolling of the dice. So it's one of those games where my turn is better than when it's not my turn. Everyone's going to play on my turn, but everyone's getting a very minor turn compared to me. Mm-hmm. But if you're like, it's now my turn. Here are the dice. That was not what I needed. You don't get to say, oh, I'll make up for it next time, because next time is several turns away.
Right. But on the flip side of that, if you have a bad roll of a turn, it's not what you need, you can switch gears and take the dice and try to set yourself up. And maybe on the next 3 turns where you're just getting 1 die, you can make up for it. So it's not like that action is lost. Like, that wasn't exactly what I need. You still have that room to pivot because there is that, I hesitate to call it a follow action. So not a follow action, but it's also a mini draft. You only get the 1 die.
You also you really only have your own main turn 4 times. Mm-hmm. One of the 4, you'll get to mitigate the dice roll because you get another reroll if you want it. One of them you can take from the middle. So there are ways, thankfully, to kind of get around what you get. I think there's a lot of luck in this game, certainly. But there's also a nice amount, a necessary and appropriate, I would say, amount of mitigation on top of that. I'm pretty happy with the mitigation in this one.
I am too. I'm just saying that you have to go in knowing that it's not as like you mentioned Revive. Revive's a pretty hefty game with almost no luck.
Yeah.
This one's surprisingly light, I think, is what it is. I agree.
I still wouldn't call it as light as like a filler game or something like that. I do think there is enough going on. There can be those turns where you combo together, where maybe you're using a special power off one of your companions, coupled with one of your additional actions by using your lightning bolt on one of your completed robots.
Yeah.
I have this other special power that I can move my dice around. So you have a couple different things that can happen where you'll have these bigger turns. So I'd hesitate to call it just a light game.
No,
I'd say
I
it's light,
that.
medium. It's definitely not filler, anything like that. I'd put it a little bit heavier than Transmissions. And I haven't played Revive, but I would put it a little bit heavier.
No, Revive is way, way heavier.
Right.
Like it's way
That's
up
all
there.
I'm saying is comparatively to
Yeah.
Revive. I will say I personally, I don't think I'll ever play this again without drafting those companions, because I firmly believe they are not all created equal.
Sure.
Some of those companions, I'm just like, I don't want that at all. And others seem really great. And that's fine if you draft. The problem is you don't draft game 1. I almost wish they had, I wish a lot of games would do this, like here's A, B, C, D sets. These are yours. Pick one. They're different, so everyone has different stuff.
Right.
But they're relatively balanced.
Yeah.
So that's
not
my
a
only
bad
problem.
idea. Yeah, I agree.
Mechanically, although it's not really a problem since drafting is the way you can do it, and it fixes the problem. There's
It's a one game problem, but it does kind of lead to that first play being like, I wish I had better setup from the beginning. But jump into a second game and it's there. I think by the second game, you're ready to draft them. You understand.
The one thing I'll forgive it for is you do have a hand of 6 to get to open.
Sure, but you might play 4 or 5 of
You
them.
might. But that first game, which is the one where that would really hurt, you are looking at quite a few. You might not put out that many.
Right.
That's the only thing. But I agree with you that would be nice, but I didn't find it to be sort of a death knell. Like, man, the first time I feel like I'm really getting hosed
No,
with these
I'm just
cards.
saying I don't want to do it again.
Right. Especially when there's there's nothing else to do with those companion cards. It's not like you can discard one to get a discount somewhere to mitigate a die, anything like that. Like, if they're in your hand, you're like, that's not going to play into what I'm doing. Never mind, it's in my hand for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's a one game problem.
What did you guys think of the sparks being such a limited resource and you only get it back when we've gone around the whole table?
Oh, I love that. That's from Revive, essentially. I think that's a great mechanism. You use them. You're always going to use it. Like, you're always going to use it, before time runs out. There's a way to use it, but if you get another one, it feels amazing.
Right.
Yeah, it's really powerful, yeah.
I think you have to know that going into it as well, because in one of my plays, I think it was the live one actually, I had the problem of not quite getting that until late game, and then I had more sparks than I had places to use them. So it wasn't even about when do I get them back. It's like I have 3 sparks and only 2 places to use them. You know, and so
that's got to be super rare because the robots, many of them give you a new place to.
It's got to be. It must just have been the ones I was completing, but I wasn't looking out for that. So I do think it's really interesting, and it leads to those kind of timing or big combo turns, making sure you have access to what and when are you going to use that resource that you've built into. But it is something to understand, I think earlier game.
I really like the robots and the look of them. There's one here in the front of the box.
So cute.
I like that look. It looks, and that's another reason I've been comparing it to the other game, Transmissions, because the robots have a similar look.
Yeah.
I do not love the overall look of the game. I especially dislike that the 4 tracks are colors that the players use. I hate that.
Yes.
And that actually lowers the game a whole point for me because it's so confusing and it's such an easy fix. I don't get it, but this is also, as much as I love these designers, they've never been known. Their companies have never been known for like amazing graphic design. It's fine. This game is fine. I love the robot art, but if I have a yellow piece and I move on the yellow track, it's easy for me to move. And if I'm the red piece on the yellow track and I move on the yellow track, it's easy for me to think, move the yellow piece. It's an easy mistake to make. And I definitely have a lot of mistakes are made.
I agree.
Pink, white, black tracks. There you go.
Right.
Done.
I mean, I will say one thing.
I agree 100%.
I didn't have the problem. I solved the problem, and I didn't struggle with it. No,
Camilla solved color.
No, I saw it. I saw it happen. I saw people struggling and players struggling. I didn't struggle with it for whatever reason. It clicked with me, but I also think that's because I tend to look at symbols, and it does have really good colorblind friendly symbology in it.
Right.
Like I think the yellow is a triangle and one of the colors is a circle, that kind of stuff. And so having seen that problem, seeing you guys struggle, I just defaulted to looking at the symbols. So I do think I want to give them credit for that. But at the same time, the colors are the exact same. It could have been an easy fix.
No, this is a mistake.
It could have been a fix.
It's bad graphic design. The whole thing does not really look like the graphic design is weak. And the artwork for the robots, I think, is cute-ish. The animals, I do not like the look. I don't like the graphic design. I generally don't like the look of this game.
Oh, that's funny. I really do.
Yeah, so I said that knocked it down a point for me, but I still really like the game. I'm giving it a 7. It is just it's an easygoing game. I wish there was maybe some more differential between the robot upgrades from game to game. You're going to see them all in 2 games. Mm-hmm. But I still love it. I love the idea of I upgraded my robots. They do this now. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. I like how you can combo the robots. I like drafting dice. I'm always going to enjoy a game like that. So I think this is a solid game. Like you said, mid-weight class. But for me, it's an enjoyable time, a 7.
I'm giving it a 7.5. I like it a little better than you. I think it's very good. I would love to have a little more variety, interest maybe in the little bonuses that you set up, those 6 tiles. You pick 6 out of 8 that exist. They're good. They're just not splashy. They're not like, ooh, yeah. They're more like, more is better. That's good. And then but the game, it's sort of more compact and a little more streamlined than the box and the spread lead you to believe, and I appreciate that. I do like the drafting's neat, taking from the ends of the dice, where the things you can do are simple. This is a straightforward game that, again, for me is missing some pizzazz. I think better color selection, better iconography, a little more pizzazz, maybe a fun something or other in there above and beyond. This works well and is engaging and interesting would have helped it for me.
I'm coming in at an 8 on this. I was having a lot of fun in all my plays of this. I do think it does scratch the same itch as a lot of other games, but what it's bringing to the table is that little bit more of kind of combo-y tastic kind of turns, when that feels good. And sometimes that combo isn't even on your turn. And so I love that. I guess I'm going to call it a follow action. It's almost a follow draft, you know.
Yeah. You're always involved.
You're always involved. I like that. I love the animal companions. I think it's great to get them out and you feel really good to have that powerful action, whether it's a continual action or a one-time kind of thing. But I also love that that's balanced with it becoming harder and harder to get them out, because each one cost an additional resource. And so I really like that as well. I just think it has enough thinking and going on that you feel engaged the whole time on your turn, not on your turn, in what you're doing. You're invested in building up your robots here. But I still think it's a light to mid-weight game.
It's not that long.
Right, it's not that long. And so it is, you understand it quickly, you jump in quickly, and you're thinking right off the bat without being weighed down. I just think this game, at the end of every game of this, I'm just happy, and I'm enjoying it, and I am proud of what I've built up, of my robot. And so I really enjoy it. So for me, it's an 8.
There you go, folks. That is Sparks. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Zee Garcia.
And I'm Camilla.
Let the sparks fly. Hey folks, thanks for watching another one of our videos. If you like our videos, if you like our channel, you would love to game with us at one of our conventions. Check out Dice Tower Cruise, Dice Tower East, and Dice Tower West. Fantastic conventions where we play games with wonderful people, a humongous library, and lots of other events and stuff. Also, don't forget to check out our channel, like and subscribe. I'm Tom Vassell.